I promised we would be talking about pins, and I have avoided this topic of conversation for so long because honestly, I don't like to talk about Pinterest. I defer to my friend Carly for that. I have so many of her courses, and she's awesome. I am not a Pinterest guru. What I do know is the difference between like pins that stand out and pins that don't. Pins that are difficult to read and just don't catch my attention at all versus pins that do. Bad pins that I've seen will have like 8 different fonts. Every single word will be a totally different font. They will be dark blue on a black background for the text, and I can't read it. The photo of the best steak dinner looks like it was a pile of mush because I cannot see what it says. Too much text. There's too much information about what is happening. So a lot of times that we'll see, and I say this down below a little bit, but I'm going to say it here again. Your pin, your goal of your pin is to just get people to click over to your site. You do not need to use the entire title of your blog post as your pin title. The goal of a pin is to get people to take a quick action. And in order to do that, sometimes you're going to have to deviate off of the title of your post. And that's totally okay. So if my post is the 10 best things that you can do to grow your email list, that's pretty actionable. That really does help people. That's kind of a nice punchy thing because it has 10, which is a number thing that a lot of people will click on inside of Pinterest. It has actionable things, actionable words, email things you can, or ways to grow your email list that you can start today. That's a call to action. A lot of the pins that I see that are struggling do not have some kind of a call to action. It will just say, grow your email list. How? Are you going to help me in some way? Or is this an ad? So that's kind of the problem with the call to action. So that's what a CTA is. So some of the good things on good pins, we all have seen good pins, right? It's easy to read. You can see the picture super clearly. It doesn't have too much going on. It's not overwhelming, and it has a call to action. It gives you some kind of an urgency or an incentive as to why you want to click. And a lot of the pins that are good pins use strong keywords specifically for making sure that you're encouraging your readers to feel something. You want them to be able to say like, ooh, I want to learn how to grow my email list starting today. I don't want to have to wait around. I want to know that now. You're giving that kind of an urgency. Or it can be, because obviously like my niche is talking about money. All the time we're talking about money. So everything that I do, all of my pins will have easy, simple, fun ways to save money fast. Something like that, because that's what people want. So is it enough to just say like this post is about how to start an email list? No. What is it that the people want? What are some of the emotions that you can tap into for people as to what they want? Because once you can learn how to do that, what is the thing that your people want? Everybody's people want something different, right? But for the most part, I think we want things that are simple and easy and doable and that you can start today and that don't cost an arm and a leg or that won't require you to go to school or don't require a lot of tools or whatever it is. Good pins versus bad pins. This hurt my soul to create this pin. Everything in me died making this pin. I was like, this is so bad. But this is still, I've seen way worse pins, like, but it hurt me to make this pin. Okay, so why does this look like a bad pin? Well, remember how we talked about color theory very early on in this talk? We talked about how if things are too close in value, it's difficult to read. There's 3 different fonts going on here. I have literally seen pins before where each and every single word inside of the pin was a different font, and it was in like an entire blog post title. Yeah, it was way too much. There's too much going on here. The overlay is crazy town. The picture, I have no idea what's happening inside of this picture, because that was another thing, was not just like that the picture was too dark or too like what didn't have good lighting or something, but I've seen pictures where it's like, what does this have to do with this post? Like it was, I saw one and it was like a toy room is what it looked like to me, was like a bunch of kids' toys. And it was a post on like gratitude journaling for elderly women.
What?
I could be wrong, but when I see like color blocks and like kids' toys, I don't think of gratitude journaling for elderly women. That's not where my brain goes. You might want to make sure that you're using photos, whether they are from Canva or from deposit photos or from stock photo membership sites. I do not care. There's a lot of things I can say about photos and where to get them. Make sure that you're doing it on the up and up. Obviously, can't just get your photos from Google, but you have to make sure that they actually make sense. They have to make sense, or it's going to be completely like, what is this about? Because remember, photos will say things before people can even read it. Your photos and the framing that you set up for that pin, based on the color scheme that you're using, the words that you're using, the photo that you're using, all of that stuff, before somebody even actually reads what it's about, your photo and your colors do the lifting for you. They'll do the heavy lifting of getting people's attention right there on that pin. And if you're not catching people's attention, then they're going to keep scrolling. So that's kind of a big thing when it comes to this stuff. So there's no strong reason to click it. That's another big thing is, what am I getting? Buy it here. I can't even read that it says buy it here. If this was like a pin that was going straight to a like a Shopify store, because that's what Pinterest can do, like you can do plenty of things with it, I can't see that. This isn't conveying something to me that I would even pay attention to. And that's where the problem oftentimes comes in. So here's some good pins. Now, obviously, like I don't like to toot my own horn, obviously, but I took some of my pins. I like my pins. That's why I make them. Like, so there's plenty of other ones. Like I said, Carly has a bunch of pins that are just fantastic inside of her pin membership. And she talks about like all of the changes and everything each month. It's really great. But easy call to action, big words that people want to see, using colors that make sense, because colors like Starbucks. So you see the green and you see the word Starbucks and you're like, I'm paying attention. You see this photo, which very clearly indicates Starbucks or coffee or something that you're looking for. Money saving hacks. This woman has a bunch of money. It says money saving. And then full-time blogger. This is the big thing that people are going to see as they're scrolling. Full-time blogger, this woman's on a computer, and then we're going to see in less than a year, gasp. Oh my gosh. So all of these things, they're easy to read. They catch your attention. The photos make sense based on what these posts are about. There's not too much going on. And there's 3 fonts. This one is 2. This one's 3 because of this guy. Same thing with this one. It doesn't have to be 18,000 different fonts. Promise. The simpler that you keep things for yourself when you're designing anything, the easier that it will be for you to replicate it going forward. Because if it takes you 8 hours to make a pin because you're choosing from 17,000 different fonts that are inside of Canva, it's going to be exhausting and you're going to be wasting your time. Keeping it simple by picking just a few different fonts that you can stick with and make your life easier. There's no shame in that.